What is going on, guys? This is Vintage Gaming here, and you guessed it, we have another Halo Infinite video for you today. This video will be part 2 of my wish list for Halo Infinite. Now, let me preface this by saying, guys, I think everybody would prefer no monetization in the new Halo, no microtransactions, stuff like that. But we gotta realize we live in 2020 and gaming companies are just trying to absolutely maximize any profit. And if that means taking advantage of some people so they recurringly put money into a game for a variety of features, that's on them. But anyway, it's 2020, it's something we're gonna have to deal with. So, what I want for my wish list is a practical system for monetization or microtransactions. And I think the best way to illustrate this point is to go back in time to a couple of different games, some Halo games, some not, and look at how microtransactions or abuse of DLC, basically any way that a gaming company has used leverage to make the gamer put more money into a game. So I want to start off first by a good example. I know a lot of Halo fans have probably played Call of Duty 4, and if you remember, Call of Duty 4 had one map pack. It was the Variety map pack, and it had Kill House, Creek, Chinatown, and Broadcast. Now, if you remember, all those maps were pretty much terrible, but at least they were all free. They had one map. They released the game. They released one map pack for free, and I believe they had a sponsor for that map pack, but at any rate, it was free for the gamer. Tremendous example of a gaming company taking care of their consumers. I really like that. Now, what's pretty sad is when you had Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, they released the same map pack for, I think, $20. So literally a 10-year-old set of maps got bumped up from free to $20, which is pretty ridiculous, but that's neither here nor there. Basically, they were doing it right in 2007. Now we move on to Halo 2. Halo 2 had a multitude of different map packs. They had the Maptacular map pack. It was $12 back in the day. Had Backwash, Elongation, Gemini, Relic, Terminal. They had the Killtacular map pack, which was about $5 for about a month, and then it turned free. It had Sanctuary and Turf. That's probably driven by the amount of success that Sanctuary had in multiplayer, but that was eventually a free map pack. Then they had the Blastacular map pack that had Desolation and Tombstone. That was $4. And then they had a free bonus map pack sponsored by Mountain Dew, and that had Containment and Warlock in it. So Halo 2 clearly milking the gamers for a little bit more money. If you were a Halo 2 player back in the day, you remember the terrible launch that Bungie had for Halo 2? And so I think it's kind of unfair for them at the time to release, if you total up all these map packs, it's not even $20, but to try to nickel and dime the gamer after you had a pretty terrible launch, that wasn't the greatest move, but on the other side of the coin, it was only $20 for 3 different map packs, so I'm kind of on the fence about that one. But if I remember correctly, you could still play a lot of Halo 2 without having those map packs. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but then we move on to Halo 3. So they started off with the Cold Storage map pack. That was free, so good job Bungie on Halo 3. Then they went on with the Heroic map pack that had Standoff, Rat's Nest, and Foundry. That was also free. Probably free because of Foundry, to be honest, and we didn't really have a dedicated Forge map, so that would look pretty bad if one of their primary new features of a game was unable to be utilized to its potential without paying for a $20 map pack. And then they had 3 more map packs, correct me if I'm wrong, and really, Halo 3 ODST is a DLC of Halo 3, so you could lump that in here, but they had the Legendary map pack that had Avalanche, Blackout, and Ghost Town. That was 800 Microsoft points. I think that translates to $20 if I remember right, but it's been when I actually saw the word Microsoft points, I had nostalgia trips because I haven't heard that phrase in forever. But Legendary map pack was 800 Microsoft points. The Mythic map pack 1 contained Assembly, Orbital, two of the worst DLC maps ever. Can I get an amen from that in the comments? And Sandbox, which was the ultimate Forge map, which was definitely probably worth the 800 Microsoft points. And lastly, they had the Mythic Map Pack 2, which had Longshore, Heretic, and Citadel. Again, Longshore and Citadel, pretty terrible maps. If you're a big team person, you might like Longshore, but I didn't play it too much. But Heretic, took them a long time to remake Heretic. That was one of the best maps in Halo 2. And they finally remade it on the very last map pack. And I think that came out in 2009, so well over 2 years into the game. And we're still releasing $20 DLC. So I can understand keeping up with your game, creating new content, but the thing that really burned me about Halo 3 was that it wasn't pay to win, it was simply pay to play. Because if you remember correctly, you could not play virtually any ranked playlist without these map packs. I remember team doubles you couldn't play without Legendary, Mythic, or Mythic 2. SWAT you couldn't play without Legendary, Mythic 1, or Mythic 2. MLG you couldn't play with, I believe, Mythic 2 for sure, and Legendary. Maybe you could play MLG with just Mythic 2. Put me down in the comments if you remember. Snipers you couldn't play without DLC. So Halo 3 really made it a necessity to buy this extra DLC, which is pretty unfair in my opinion, because you release that game day one, you should be able to play the majority of the playlists on day one. You shouldn't expect people to fork out, $2,400 Microsoft points at the time to continue playing half of the playlist. So this is what kind of burns me about some Halo fans, is they recognize Halo 5 is pay to win. In Warzone, of course, you have better guns, better vehicles, better abilities because you have rec packs and you have a higher likelihood of getting something good. And along with the cosmetic stuff that doesn't really incentivize people to work hard and unlock armor, but I'm kind of going on a tangent. Halo 5 was pay to win in Warzone and pay to look good overall. However, like I said, Halo 3 made it impossible to play the majority of ranked playlists in Halo 3. I think that is way more greedy than Halo 5's system currently. So when we remember about microtransactions in the new Halo, just remember in Halo 3 what they did to ensure the majority of the people bought DLC. Halo 5's DLC, they haven't released any normal maps, I would say, aside from a couple of Overgrowth's kind of a normal map, but really a lot of their DLC focuses on the maps, on the vehicles, and the cosmetics that come with rec packs or are directly tied to Warzone. All their DLC is trying to continually pave a road for people to desire to buy rec cards. So if you're a gamer who doesn't play Warzone and doesn't really care about Warzone or really doesn't care about cosmetics, Halo 5's pretty much still the same game that you got, while other people are getting other features, other guns, other vehicles, Warzone maps, stuff like that. If you don't care about those things, Halo 5's pretty much vanilla Halo to you still. I also have a gripe with that, because what about the competitive gamers? What about the gamers who play MLG events? They're still working with the same game that they got 5 years ago. But if you're a Warzone fan, you've got new weapons, new vehicles, a couple new maps, a couple new skins, a couple new armor pieces, and this is all a ploy to get more people to buy rec packs. So I've kind of been on a rant today, guys, and I apologize. But so what I want for Halo Infinite is I want a balanced, practical source of microtransactions. I don't want 343 to force people to buy map packs to play half the playlists. I don't want 343 to only focus on their Warzone game because it allows people the most incentive to buy their rec packs, which, let's be honest, are pretty much video game slot machines. What I would prefer is that we have map packs again, some free, some not free. And then if there's any type of rec system, any type of season like a game like Fortnite would have, it's purely cosmetic, but you also have to have good options for people who don't want to buy, levels in a battle pass or something like that. You have to also kind of balance that with having unlocks through the campaign, through various side missions, stuff like that. So, sorry guys, it's been kind of a windy video, but at the end of the day, I just want a balanced source of monetization with the average gamer who doesn't play Warzone to feel like the game is continually being updated for them. And then if they have to add microtransactions, please let them be purely cosmetic and not allow another player a humongous advantage on another just because they do not have their credit card hooked up to their Xbox account. Let's not try to be like games like 2K or Madden, where it is clearly to win the game, to be really top notch at Ultimate Team or a 2K team, you have to spend money. Let's not bring Halo like that. I would happily pay a reasonable amount of money for good maps that have been thought out, and if they do map packs, have them truly new. I remember when Destiny did map packs, the maps were already on the disc and you had to pay money just to unlock them on the disc. That's ridiculous. They were there on day one and they knew they had the intention of releasing DLC for money. And it's sad that that was from the same studio that made Halo 1, 2, 3, Halo Wars, and Halo Reach. But sorry guys, that's been a long video. I apologize. Please support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.